I went out today to check out the closest flying field to see if it's dry enough to fly, and it does seem to be. I also found out some of the what we thought was glistening water in areas is not. It's a little net that they put down. Well, I came out to see if it was dry enough to fly, and I thought it was wet. You see that little glistening right there in the grass. When I got out of the car, I found it's not water. It's a little mesh thing they put in the grass. So when they make sod, it stays together. So physically it's dry. So get another warm day like today, I'll be able to be back out here. Hopefully the part for the Mini Skyhunter will ship this week. I've got everything else pretty much done on it. I did take the little USB connection and hot glued it right in here where I can get to it easily, and cut out a little foam so I can get to it. That should work well, I believe. I've done everything I need to do in the fuselage and stuff except for the pan and tilt, but again, hopefully that'll ship this week. Not sure yet, but perhaps. I do have some little setup on the radio to do, but this is almost 100% finished. I did tape the servo wires down on the underside of the Skyhunter wing with some Gorilla tape through here and here. I probably should have just run those wires underneath these panels and done away with them, because it looks to me like this wing is just going to have to be permanently mounted. That's my thinking right now, that it will be. I've been watching Mini Skyhunter videos on YouTube, and it seems these collars right here break a lot. Front and back, all four of them. And the booms have to be glued in, which is even more reason to have made this up as just one piece. Other than that, everything is doing perfectly with the Mini Skyhunter. I also made changes on the Nano Talon and the Mini Talon, and actually the full-size Skyhunter. I'll detail them in a second in the software. I'm also considering heavily using this 4S1P lithium ion pack on surely the Nano Talon. I don't know, it might work in the Mini Skyhunter, and probably wouldn't be good for the full-size Skyhunter. It might work in the Mini Talon too. We'll be looking at that. So let me show you the changes I made in the software. So in the Nano Talon, Mini Talon, Skyhunter, and the Mini Skyhunter all, I changed this auto launch stuff up a little bit. It's the takeoff. Let's just do it this way. TKOFF underscore. I had published a video where I changed this. One of the reasons this confused me, I realized, is I don't know what version this changed in and these parameters got in there, but I expected in auto takeoff for after it reached its takeoff altitude that it would just flip into return to launch mode, but that doesn't seem to be the way this works anymore. I guess it's just new versions of the firmware. I did leave the Some of these perimeters the same, 15-degree pitch. I came down through here and I did make the decision. I still have this throttle delay in there just to kind of get my act together when I get ready to do this. I'm not going to actually try to make the platform arm after it leaves my hand. Not at first, anyway. So I'm leaving this for 0.2 of a second. Did set the takeoff throttle max to 100. I dropped this down for the shake the wake that I'm going to try this next time, just to wake it up rather than it starting up when I hit the switch for auto launch. I'm using a mode switch for automatic launch instead of a mission planner. Now, I assume in mission planner I could put takeoff and then return to launch, and I would have the behavior I thought this would do before these other two perimeters I mentioned above got in the firmware. So I'm not doing any speed on this, and I'm setting the throttle slew to 20, which is basically 5-second ramp up. And what I'm expecting here, and I'm going to play with it here on the bench with no prop on and get these parameters closer to what I want. For starters, for automatic takeoff, I just want it to be helping me a little bit, basically still doing my fly-by-wire A takeoff, where just up the throttle and throw it. And then I've been getting on the sticks and giving it a little bit of up to do what I wanted. So what I want to do here is set it so that I can arm it, put it in fly-by-wire A mode, and then flip the mode switch for auto takeoff, and then it'll be like a 5-second event there that will, well, I guess I might have to shake it back and forth. I might get rid of that, which would be setting this perimeter to 0 too at some point. But I think I'm going to leave the ramp up of throttle. That just gives me a little time to relax and just get ready to throw it like I've been throwing it on all my launches before, except this time the platform will actually be holding a little up elevator on its own, and we'd be going out to 100 and going up to about 120 feet. That's what 36 meters is, 118 feet, whatever. At a distance of 144 meters where it will loiter there, and then I can take over. Not real thrilled about it getting that far away from me with my eyesight, but if it all works, it's in a controlled mode and it's just loitering out there, and it shouldn't be a problem. I think I worry a lot about failures. Maybe not too much, because they will happen. So again, this is going to give me a 5-second get ready period. I decided to run my airspeed calculations again and my auto tunes again on all these platforms. The reason being, I think I've only done it on 2 of the 4. The Mini Talon and the Nano Talon have had both those done, but I didn't like the outcome of the auto tune. I think it's the Mini Talon. I think I shut it off too early. Might not have been, but I was told to wait 30 seconds, a minute before I go out of auto tune, even when it says finished, so that it completes it, saves everything away. And I may have flipped out of that a little early, which could be a problem. So just because these are the first two platforms I've ever done that with, I'm not real thrilled with the airspeed calculation on the Mini Talon. I think the Nano Talon's much closer, but it won't hurt a bit for them to be closer to perfect. So I'm going to go back and just fly them both again through an airspeed calculation and an auto tune, and be more careful this time with both of those. Get them a little closer to what I want. Now I do have with the Nano Talon the problem of the compass, which I think I've addressed in the Nano Talon. The compass in the Mini Talon was fine. It just needs to have a firm airspeed calculation done and a good auto tune for sure. You can see right here, auto analysis of the telemetry log shows that there's some problems in the compass on the Nano Talon. So with that in mind, I came back in and looked deeper into what might be going on there. And rather than digging through the offsets and looking at them all, I just decided, because the Nano Talon has 3 compass modules in it, 2 of which were enabled, I decided just to turn off Compass 2 and Compass 3 and go ahead and do these flights. They're all supposed to be calibrated and stuff, but I'm going to see if that error message still comes up with Compass 1 only running. Then I'll probably fly it again and just use Compass 2 and see what happens. Then I'll probably fly it again and just use Compass 3 and see what happens, to try to work out a little bit of what that compass problem is. And then hopefully I'll be able to come back and turn all 3 of them on, although all 3 of them aren't needed. Like I say, the Mini Talon has good compass, good flight controller data, totally. It's just, I think I may have turned off auto tune too soon, and better airspeed calibration wouldn't hurt at all on both of them. Now the Skyhunter has not been maidened at all yet, so it needs all of this done. And the same thing for the Mini Skyhunter. The Mini Skyhunter is not completely built yet, so it doesn't have the opportunity of being maidened quite yet. But that's the 4 airplanes I've got really close to being completely certified, etc. Mini Talon and Nano Talon might have been able to be completely given their airworthiness certificate, so to speak. But I didn't like the compass problem on the Nano Talon, and I just wanted better tuning on the Mini Talon. I won't be as skittish, hesitant, unexperienced as when I was first doing them. So I think it's just a good idea to go back and do those again. What else? I think I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the firmware on the Dragon Link. Not sure why you would fly with the older firmware if the newer firmware has changes in it that are beneficial, even though we don't have any information what those changes are, which bothers the daylights out of me that there's no release notes from Dragon Link. That's just, in my humble opinion, almost a deal breaker. Just really bad. No telling where else there's such failings in their whole system. That really, really does bother me. What else? I think that's about it. Last week at my diabetes doctor visit, they doubled my Ozempic, which is a diabetes medication that's been doing real good for me for the past year. Doubling the dosage kind of made me a little bit sick today. I did want to try to fly today, but I didn't feel like it. Used to take that dosage on Fridays. I converted it to Mondays because it was messing up a lot of my weekends, and that did fix it. It's just today's just my second week of the double dosage. So it is, after all, Gila monster poison that you're putting in your body. So making you sick is not surprising to any of us, but it's supposed to just do it for about 30 minutes to an hour, 2 or 3 hours after I take it on the first day, not through the rest of the 7 days that it's active before I take it again. So hopefully that'll be settling down, and hopefully the increased dosage will work. We're trying to get me off of insulin. I'm still on an insulin pump, and it is possible. We'll see. But we've been working on it for over a year now, a year and a half, and it hasn't come to fruition. So, but I'm not giving up. Didn't go to the far field where I really need to do a lot of the work after the close in auto tunes and airspeed calculations and such that are proving the platforms after their build. That's a 30-40 minute drive from here, so I imagine it's in about the same condition as the close field, but it may be a little muddy getting down in there, because out there I have a little bit more leeway than I do here, basically in the middle of town. Uh, sometimes these platforms do fly off from you at go off of fair distance. Luckily, my fail safes and stuff will cause them to come back to the launch site if they should run off any great distance. But if they run off in any great distance at the far field, it's not such a problem. First of all, because the field that I fly in is like 1,100 acres. Uh, this close field is not that big. So I think that's all the updates for right now. Oh no, I have another update you'll be interested in. My bad. I'm sorry. I broke out the Cyclops video goggles again and worked them back up. I think I'm going to be able to use them before I have my cataracts done. I just like, and everybody that reviews these things say that the actual display inside here is one of the best of any set of goggles, and this allows me to put my glasses on and fly with my glasses on, which is a big boom. So I'm ready to try those and actually do some FPV with airplanes, which has been my goal for quite some time. So towards that goal, I went to the dollar store. Well, it's the $1.25 store now, and I bought 9 different pair of reading glasses in different diopters, and was trying those inside those goggles to see if that helped me be able to see. Still have a couple of powers of this, the upper powers, that I may have to get to see if these work, or if I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and use my glasses. But that's all coming along well, and I expect, God, they're laying everywhere. Expect all that to work itself out very shortly. I'm going to need those goggles after I get through with the auto calculations, maiden flights, auto tunes, and all that close-up stuff. I'll really want to be doing that. And I guess tomorrow's the 1st of February, so I'm about 4 weeks away from my appointment with my eye surgeon to decide if we're actually going to do the cataracts. We're not 100% sure we will be doing them at this point. Okay, guys, that's what's been going on around here. Thank you, guys.